Why has Allah allowed women only one husband? And why has Allah allowed men more than one wife? He has not explained in the Qur'an. We can offer our opinion, but at the end of the day, it's only opinions. But it is instructive that Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam had many wives. Many wives. And this is a message that Allah is conveying to us, that in plural marriages there are benefits. And among the benefits is this one, that while you do not know how to solve your problem out there with 50 women to one man, we can solve it in our Muslim village. And that is that in our village we want to live Islam. Is there anything wrong with that? Does Islam come from the government of Egypt or the government of Tunisia? Islam comes from Allah and His Messenger. And that's the Islam we want to live. Is there something wrong with that? And we want to go in a village, kampung, in the remote countryside. And in that village we want to establish the deen to the extent that we can do so. Is there anything wrong with it? To do so in order to preserve our faith. And so I have said that in our village, you're not going to be voting in elections. No. In the process of voting in elections, you're saying goodbye to Khilafah and goodbye to Darul Islam. You are validating the substitute that Dajjal has given. But Ikhwan al-Muslimun in Egypt don't understand that. So we won't vote in elections. If that's a crime, tell us, so we can make hijrah somewhere else. And if there's nowhere on the face of the earth we can live, then we'll hide in a mountain rather than betray Allah and His Messenger. We prefer to hide in a mountain rather than betray Allah and His Messenger. We're not voting in elections. You want to vote, we're not stopping you. Go ahead, that's your choice. It's not ours. Can't you respect our choice? Our choice is based on knowledge. Knowledge that you don't have. And in our kampung, we're not going to be using your paper money. Is that a crime? Are we breaking the law? By bringing back what Allah and His Messenger has given, the dinar and the dirham? I'm going to say something now. I met recently with Dr. Mahathir, the former Prime Minister. And one of the first things I told him was that you and Charles de Gaulle are the only two world leaders that I know of who have stood up, Charles de Gaulle long before you, in denouncing this monetary system as fraudulent. And I'm proud of what you did. And he also called for the return of the dinar. Yes, not in the market, but at least in government-to-government trade, or balance of payments. At least it was a start. So I was proud of him, and I told him that. So in our village, we'll try to bring back dinar and dirham. What's wrong with that? And if you won't allow us anywhere on the face of the earth, we rather hide in a mountain than to continue to be a part of your electronic monetary system, in which the banking system is in charge. And every transaction that you make, they have it recorded. If that's what you want, stay with it. That paper money is bogus, it's fraudulent, it's haram. You don't know it, but I know it. And don't attempt to challenge me, because you'll regret it. That paper money is bogus, it's fraudulent, it's haram. And the electronic money is more bogus and more fraudulent and more haram and vastly more dangerous. And so in our village, we're going to stay away as much as we can from shirk and from riba. But that's not all. You're not coming in our village to create fitna. And this one is a Sufi, and that one is a Salafi, and this one is a Deobandi, and that one is a Barelvi, and this one is a Wahhabi, and this one is this, and that, and that, and that, and that. No! We are one Jama'ah. And we must have one Amir in this Jama'ah. One Jama'ah with one Amir. And in order to create a united Jama'ah with one Amir, you have to accept that only the Qur'an and the Sunnah can unite us. There is nothing else that can unite us, only the Qur'an and the Sunnah. And so we say that in our village, we start with the masjid, and that we will not allow in our masjid anything which is not firmly based on the Qur'an and the universally accepted Sunnah. If you have a religious practice which you've had for generations and generations now, and it is beneficial, it's not like drinking whiskey, but it is not based on the Sunnah, then we say, sorry, don't bring it in the masjid. Keep it in your home if you want. Don't bring it in the masjid. Don't bring it in the public life. So that the Qur'an and Sunnah may be allowed to play the role which only they can play of uniting the Jama'ah. And so in our village, the Sufi and the Salafi will live together as brothers. The Deobandi and the Barelvi will live together as brothers in our village. And if you want to celebrate the birth anniversary of the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, which is not like drinking whiskey, is it? But it is not based on the Sunnah. We say, just don't bring it in the masjid and don't bring it in the public life. That's all. Keep it in the private. And if you keep it in the private and somebody comes to your doorstep to start shouting bid'ah and haram for what you're doing in private, then we'll ship that fella out of the Muslim village faster than Federal Express. Because he's an agent of fitna.